Hi guys, I hope you are all doing well. Welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to do a little bit of a different video for me, which is more of a story time video to go through my experience working for an MLM, a multi-level marketing company. So let's just get into it because I have quite a lot to say. So how did it all start? I feel like everyone that starts in MLMs get into it in the most random way possible, and my situation was absolutely no different. So I was around 20 years old at this time, living in the UK. I was finishing my last year of university as well. So I was quite in a desperate time where really I would have taken any job, just anything that would somewhat pay me anything and keep myself occupied. And I really wanted to be in the beauty sector, doing some sort of management business role. So how did it start? I had gone to a high school reunion, which is random because I don't really even go to high school reunions anymore, but this one I had gone to. And our high school reunions, they're not just your class, but they're all the classes. So back from class of 1989 goes to our high school reunions, and that was the case in this specific reunion. And then in every reunion they pick one speaker to be like the speaker of honor of the night, to inspire the rest of the alumni. So the speaker of honor, I'm thinking like, what name can I give this person, because I don't want to use her real name, so let's call her Francesca. So Francesca was the speaker of honor of this night, and I had no idea what the hell she was saying. She was literally speaking for, I'd say almost an hour, but well over 30 minutes. And speaking about what she does and speaking about how she owns a business and it's somewhat in the beauty lifestyle sector. And I'm like, oh my goodness, well, this woman must be legit. I need to go speak to her. But she never at one point said, you know, I'm the director of marketing, I'm the director of finance, I work in logistics, like anything like that. Her job was so vague. I didn't understand. After an hour of speaking, I didn't know what the hell she did. So I go up to her and I speak to her because I'm like, right, okay, I need this woman to give me a job. And obviously she sees how keen I am, how interested I am in the beauty sector, and she was like, okay, perfect, next victim, right? So I gave her my number, and I still have no idea what the hell a multi-level marketing company is. I look it up. It was Arbonne that she worked for, which is one of the bigger beauty MLMs. I've seen a lot of videos of anti-MLMers talking about Arbonne. And I gave her my number, and obviously she messages me that same week to meet up. And so the first time we met up in person outside of that high school reunion was at like a convention. It wasn't one of the bigger conventions Arbonne had. It was more of like a meeting of 300 people. I guess you could call that a convention, couldn't you? But it wasn't like a 3-day convention kind of thing. It was just an hour speech where people in Arbonne would speak about how they've grown their business, inspire us, etc. Even after that, still didn't understand what an MLM was, but it caught my interest, and she was really nice. I went with her and her husband, and they were both really, really lovely, and it was a nice experience. So then I get home, and the following weeks, I just started studying a little bit more about MLMs. What exactly are MLMs? And to be honest, after doing my research, I was completely put off of MLMs. Because it wasn't that you just own your own business. And what I wanted was a role in marketing or some sort of business-led role inside a corporation that's already established. I didn't want to own my own business, invest my own money, and try to sell my own products. That's not what I was looking for at that time. So it just wasn't what I wanted. And I remember I was on the train, I was on the tube with one of my friends, and I was explaining to her everything. And I was like, no, but I don't want to get into it. And then a random guy, this never happens to me, a random guy jumps into the conversation and says, I'm so sorry to have been eavesdropping this whole time, but I've been listening to you talking about this business, this Arbonne business. Do not get into it. These things are scams. They should be illegal. Do not get into this. And I'm like, no, sir, don't worry. Like, thanks for your opinion, but I'm not thinking of accepting this or getting into it. Don't worry. Anyway, fast forward a week or two. I speak to my mom, and my mom actually knows some people in MLMs that are doing pretty well for themselves, or so it seemed. So she told me to not ignore it completely, have another conversation with the woman, and just see. She didn't tell me to do it, but she didn't tell me not to do it. So I had another meeting with Francesca, and this is one of the first weird things that Francesca did to catch me out. Retrospectively, I cannot believe I fell for this, but then the first meeting I had with her after the convention, just like the first one-on-one with her, was in a coffee shop. So we went to the coffee shop. I was waiting for her outside, I think, and then she finally came, and then we went into the coffee shop together. It was this little coffee shop that basically had two spaces. So you would go in through the entrance, then you would go around the corner, and there was another space. It was literally empty. There were like 2 or 3 other customers inside, and so many tables, clean, freshly cleaned tables free for us. What happened? We went in, we went around the corner. She was like, no, don't want to sit there. Because I obviously don't care what table we sit at, so I just let her choose. And then we went back to the entrance, and then she was like, right, yep, this is the table that I want, which was odd because it was right next to this other random woman that was sitting there. And the table was dirty. Like, there were coffee mugs from the previous customer that sat on that table. And I was like, that's just weird. But it was by the window, so I thought maybe she just wanted to be by the window. Anyway, we got to talking, Francesca and I, and then randomly, the woman next to us butts in and is like, oh, I'm so sorry, but my friend used to work in Arbonne, and I used to love the cuticle oil, but now she doesn't work there anymore, and I don't know how to get the product. Is there any way that you could send me a link so that I could buy the product? And Francesca looks at me like, hey, you have your first customer. Get on that. And I'm like, right, yeah, of course. Here's my number. I'll text you, and I'll sell you this cuticle oil, or I'll send it to you for free, whatever it was. Firstly, it's weird because the cuticle oil is like the cheapest thing that's on the website. So obviously this whole thing was set up by Francesca. Francesca needed me to sit at that table because it was right by her friend that was already waiting in the coffee shop to trick me into thinking I got my first customer, and get me really excited to get me to jump on the bandwagon and join her team and make her more money. I get home and I'm like so excited that I got my first customer. I'm like, Mom, you can't believe what happened in this coffee shop. I already have my first customer. This is so exciting. And so that day I decided to definitely join Arbonne. Now, firstly, the fact that I got into Arbonne got excited at the beginning off of what was a lie, a setup that Francesca did, I think is so messed up. It is not normal. This is not how the professional world should go, and this is not how your first job should be. I think that's completely out of line, but I only realized that was a setup years after when I really thought about it in retrospect. Now, the way Arbonne works is that you have to sell a certain amount of product a month so that you can grow levels. So I don't remember exactly what the numbers are, but you start in, say, level 1. And then to get to level 2, you need to be selling a minimum of 1,000 pounds a month to get to level 2. But that means you also need to be consistently selling 1,000 pounds a month, or else from level 2, from 1 month to the next, if you are under the threshold of 1,000 pounds, you go back to level 1. So I had a lot of pressure to start off to make sure that I got to level 2 quickly, because when you start your business, I hate calling it your own business because it's not your own business, okay? It's somebody else's business and you're making a lot of money for somebody else, but not for yourself. But when you start your own Arbonne business, you have to invest because you need the products. You need to try the products. You need to have like little kits of products for you to be able to send to your friends and family so that they can try it, and then eventually buy off of you. So I spent 400 pounds. That was my first investment in getting a buttload of products to try and samples to be able to send to my friends, family, people that I knew. Since I had already spent these 400 pounds, I wanted to quickly get to those 600 pounds because I knew that if the month came to an end and I hadn't reached 1,000 pounds, those 400 pounds weren't going to go towards the threshold that I needed to get to level 2. Anyway, I think you get me. It gets a little bit complicated there, but I had pressure to spend another 1,000 pounds. So I started trying the products. They were okay, they were fine. I ended up only giving a kit to one friend of mine to see if she would try it. I didn't even give it to my mom or my family because I just felt wrong selling them products. Like, let them buy it if they want to. or let them keep buying the products that they want to buy already or that they're buying already, because these products aren't necessarily cheap, Arbonne products. Anyway, I started trying them, then I'm like, right, okay, my month is coming up, I need to just spend the other 600 pounds. So I ended up spending 1,000 pounds in my first month to get to level 2. Still having no prospective customers, no one really interested in buying off of me, but I needed to get to level 2, otherwise my investment of 400 pounds was gonna be for nothing. Well, I was just gonna have product there, but I was still gonna stay in level 1. Anyway, fast forward even more, I'm trying these products out. Within 3 weeks or so, I start to break out like crazy. I have never had my skin be this bad. I will insert some photos now of what my skin looked like before using Arbonne. There in that picture, you can see a tiny little pimple. That was kind of normal for me. I would have a pimple like that a month, but nothing crazy. And then this is a photo a bit into using Arbonne, and then this is what my skin ended up looking like after using Arbonne. Since then, I've been suffering with acne. Now, I don't know if it's directly related just to having had irritation from Arbonne, but definitely this caused my acne at 21 years old, and I'm still suffering with this today. So I clearly hate these products, and I clearly cannot sell them to absolutely anybody that I know and love. I wouldn't even sell this to my worst enemy. So I pull everything back. I'm like, right, okay, I need to get out of this because things are getting a little bit weird. Another thing that happened to me was my Francesca, my what do you call them? My manager, I guess. She would have meetings with her team every month. So I went to one of the meetings, and I wanted to invite my mom because I didn't see why not. Francesca, before I invited my mom, told me, you have to be sure that it's someone that supports your business. If your mom doesn't support your business, then she shouldn't come to the meeting. I'm like, no, my mom actually really supports my business. But retrospectively, what the hell? Like, if I'm allowed to invite friends and family, why is my manager controlling what type of friend or family I invite? It's weird. It's weird. This is weird. And I remember getting to that meeting, and every month she would give out an award, I guess, to the person that had been best performing that month. Who gets the award? I get the award for being the new starter, for giving it my all, and whatever. So I get a chocolate and a book. It's weird that I would have gotten the award. I hadn't achieved anything, but this is the kind of tactics that they do to get you excited and to get you hooked at the beginning. Then you invest a lot of money, and then you feel like, oh, I've already invested 1,000 pounds. I can't get out. I need to at least make my money back before I get out. And then it becomes this cycle of doom, really. So a lot of weird things have happened to me. On top of that, I'm breaking out from the products that I'm meant to be selling to the people that I know and love. Hell no. So I get out ASAP. I call customer service of Arbonne, and I'm like, you need to pick up these products right now because they are breaking me out, and my skin has never been like this. I didn't even used to have sensitive skin. And so I did get a refund for 600 pounds. So I ended up only losing, I guess around 400 pounds, which honestly, I'll take my losses. If that's the worst that happened to me, fine. It sucked to lose 400 pounds at that age and not having a job. But I needed to get out because there was no way I was going to sell that. Francesca was trying to convince me, saying, oh, your skin is just going through a purging phase. I'll let you into a secret. Remember Rebecca, or whatever her name was, that spoke at the convention? Well, she had the same situation happen, and now her skin is glowing. And I was like, Francesca, don't bullshit me. I was done with it. I was really, really done with it. I mean, I'm lucky that I got out quickly. And retrospectively, I look into the amount of tactics, of manipulation tactics they use they're not human. They're not good. I would never do that to anybody. It's just messed up. MLMs are messed up. So that was my, I guess, almost 2 months experience with an MLM, with Arbonne specifically. I did not like my experience at all. I felt completely manipulated and lied to retrospectively. The tactics that they use to manipulate you, to get you hooked, to then get you to feel like you can't get out, are totally wrong. They're not okay. And I really do think that MLMs need to be more monitored than they already are. On top of that, the products that they have aren't even good quality. You don't hear people raving about Arbonne lotions, and there's a reason for that, because they don't focus on great R&D and product development. They focus on selling. They focus on a pyramid. I hate to say pyramid scheme because that can be controversial, but they do. They focus on making money. They don't focus on having the best products. And the way they make money is by other people making money off of other people who make money off of other people who make money off of other people. It's not morally correct. And I don't think that it should be as open and legal as it honestly is. So that is my personal opinion on MLMs. I would never recommend them to anybody. I think if you want to grow quickly and you are a really ambitious person, I think there's other ways to set up businesses. But the majority of cases that I've heard, MLMs don't work for people, and there's a reason behind it. It's really only the top dogs that win, and those of us that are right at the bottom, we're struggling to stay afloat. And then quickly an update on Francesca, because I obviously told her I'm out, don't want anything to do with Arbonne anymore ever. Thank you very much, goodbye. Following a couple of years later, she messages me again because she had moved to another company, and so she was now selling like fitness stuff in another MLM, and was desperate to get customers or new people in her team, and so she messages me. And I just think this is weird, and this is the kind of stuff that is repeated behavior of MLMers. MLMers? Can we make that official? MLMers. And they are so desperate to capture clients or people to join their team that they will literally contact anybody. For Francesca to have contacted me when we didn't leave on the greatest of notes, I did not trust her. And I didn't have any fond opinions of her at all, to be honest. And for her to message me to purchase her products was astonishing to me. Like, this is not normal behavior in the professional realm. And I just thought this was something to highlight, because this is the kind of behavior that you have to be successful as an MLMer. And I just don't respect it. It's desperate, it's weird, and it's completely disingenuous. So now's an update on Francesca. All right, guys, so that was my experience with an MLM. My recommendation really is, if you're gonna think about getting into an MLM, do your research and think twice. I think it's important that if you are going to get into this type of business, to really believe in the products that you're going to sell. Don't sell shitty products, because it's gonna get back to you. Like, your business isn't going to do well. And if you are a highly motivated person and you want to own your own business in some way, but you don't know how, there are many other ways to do this, and it doesn't have to be through an MLM. The people that I know that have worked in MLMs are not very trustworthy. I don't like the schemes and the tactics that they use against their friends to get more sales. I just feel like there's better ways to go about it. So definitely do your research and go in to a business with an MLM, knowing everything that you can. It's not as easy as, oh, you own your life and you don't have to have a boss on top of you telling you what to do and how many hours a day to work. If you want to make 100K a year, you can make 100K a year. If you want to make 50K a year, you can make 50K a year. If you want to make more, you can make more. You set your ceiling. It is not that easy. It really, really, it isn't. So think twice, because I think there's other ways that are better to make a living. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions at all, leave them down below, or if you have comments, whether you agree with me that MLMs, not as trustworthy, or if you think completely in contrary of what I believe, do let me know. I'm interested to see where this conversation is going and whether my opinion is the popular opinion or not. I'm interested. So anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you keep well, keep safe, and I will catch you in my next video.